Scary as hell. Scary as hell.
More than a dozen people are without a home tonight after a fire at an apartment building in Middleport.
Plus, you're not going to be able to borrow as much as you could in the past.
Big changes to student loans under the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. How the new guidelines will affect your loan repayment plans.
And
it's all talk. It's all talk, and then missiles go into Kiev and kill 60 people.
Trump threatens 100% tariffs on Russia as peace talks with Ukraine stall. Newswatch starts right now. State Route 144 is closed in Coolville in both directions after a road collapse.
Officials are asking drivers to avoid the area until the Ohio Department of Transportation addresses the issue.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld.
And I'm Abigail Semple. Welcome to Newswatch.
Athens County is under a flash flood warning until 8:45 tonight.
For more on potential floods, let's turn it over to forecaster Steve Nedlick. Steve?
Yeah, guys, we've had a really rainy day so far today. We had that early morning band that moved through the area around about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then we had another one that pushed out at around 2 or 3 o'clock, and that was still impacting us as of about 4 or 5 o'clock, and it has dumped about 2.5 inches of rain, and for that reason, that is why Athens is under this flash flood warning. So if we get any more rain today, it's just going to increase those water levels, and we'll see those continue to rise if we get more rain. Now, we can actually tell where the rain has fallen the most if we look at this heat map. We're sitting about 78, but places that got rain earlier, like Springfield, about 83 degrees, so about a 5-degree difference, just because all that rain is going to cool off the air. Tonight, because of all that moisture cooling off the air, we're going to have areas of fog that are slowly going to impact our area. So after a damp start to the week, we'll slowly dry out tomorrow, and that fog is going to stick around for the morning commute. And this heat and humidity is what's going to be playing a big role, so stay tuned for the full forecast to see what the rest of the week looks like.
The Ohio State Fire Marshal is investigating the cause of a fire that burned down an apartment building in Middleport.
The blaze broke out around 7:30 last night. A total of 7 fire departments battled the flames. Chris Davis, a tenant of the building that stood for over 100 years, is thankful he and his family were unharmed.
Scary as hell. Scary as hell. The only thing that I could think while I'm watching the building burn is just I'm just so thankful that I was able to get my kids out. Like I said, everything else is just material. It's all replaceable.
All residents of the building made it out safely.
The residents are concerned the fire may have been set intentionally after a similar incident occurred in April 2022. As of now, no official cause for the fire has been determined. The blaze is controlled, but the Middleport Fire Department has been called out to suppress the fire 3 times today as it rekindles.
Nelsonville City Council is meeting tonight for the first and only time this month.
Council has a lot on their agenda, and we'll hear plenty of updates from city officials. Newswatch reporter Joshua Herner joins us live from Nelsonville City Council with the latest.
Agenda tonight. But what may end up being most important is what will be provided in the updates from city officials. Trevor Martin with the Ohio League of Women's Voters is set to propose the wards created by Nelsonville residents. Under Nelsonville's current form of government, the council is not allowed to approve the ward map. The map can only be voted on by the new city council that takes office in January. Wards are necessary because of ballot initiative issue 23 passed by voters last November, causing Nelsonville to abolish their charter form of government and switch to a statutory one. Updates will also be provided from Ad Hoc Committee Chair Reed Courtney, City Law Director Jonathan Robe, and City Manager Fred Holmes. Tonight's meeting is one of a few happening this week with items connected to the city's transition to a different form of government. The Athens County Board of Elections will hold its monthly meeting tomorrow. The Board of Elections is currently reviewing 2 filed petitions for candidates hoping to be on the November ballot. The Ad Hoc Committee will also be meeting on Thursday as the committee is helping navigate the city through the transition period between governments. With 2 offices on the November ballot, August 25th is a deadline for writing candidates to run for either the December-only term and the 2-year term under the new form of government. Tonight's agenda also includes ordinances to be voted on its second reading and 2 ordinances to be voted on their first readings. Alongside the ordinances, the council will also vote on 2 resolutions. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Joshua Herner, live in Nelsonville.
Your source for news in Southeast Ohio. For the latest details, you can visit our website at woub.org or download the WOUB app.
Dude, something fluid.
The Huntington Police Department is investigating a deadly shooting over the weekend. In the early morning hours yesterday, law enforcement responded to a shooting on 4th Avenue. 2 people were shot. 20-year-old Gabriel Zuazeda, who died shortly thereafter, arriving at the hospital. The other victim is in stable condition. Officials say the shooting seems to be an isolated incident. If you have any information, you can call the number on your screen.
Governor Mike DeWine is updating emergency response technology in 12 counties across Southeast Ohio. The next generation 911 technology speeds up response times by letting people contact 911 through text and technology like smartwatches. It also lets first responders more accurately pinpoint callers' locations. Washington County was one of the first counties to update its technology and reports an increase in correctly routed calls. As of now, 25 counties use the NG 911 system. Ohio's remaining counties have 5 years to implement the new system. 2 women are dead after a gunman opened fire at a church in Lexington, Kentucky. Officials identified the gunman as 47-year-old Guy House. Investigators say House shot a state trooper near the Bluegrass Airport before moving on to the Richmond Road Baptist Church. He then shot 4 people at the church, killing 2 and injuring 2. At yesterday's press conference, police said they will support their community.
Sometimes things happen. We just don't have a reason why. But we're going to be here for the people of Lexington.
Both men who were shot were sent to the hospital. One is in critical condition and the other is stable. The injured state trooper is also stable.
Dozens of Democratic-led states are suing the Trump administration to try to unfreeze nearly $7 billion in public education money. The states accuse the Department of Education of unlawfully locking up funds Congress set aside to help low-income and immigrant students. Among others, this legal action is the latest in the back and forth between states and the federal government over the Trump administration's decision to cut federal aid. Federal courts went against the administration in the earlier cases this year. Big changes are coming to how students and parents will take out student loans. Under President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, there will be limits on borrowing for federal student loans and a decrease in repayment options. Jen Sullivan explains the changes and your options to pay for college.
The average cost of college tuition and fees at public institutions has risen about 141% over the last 20 years. Right now, nearly 43 million people have federal student loan debt, according to the U.S. government. If you're taking out a loan to pay for college, there's some big changes for students and parents.
You're not going to be able to borrow as much as you could in the past.
Michelle Singletary is a personal finance columnist at the Washington Post. She says President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill overhauls borrowing for families. Under the Parent Plus program, parents will be able to borrow only $20,000 per year or $65,000 total per undergraduate student in federal loans.
I've dealt with a lot of students and parents who have borrowed way too much for college.
Under the repayment assistance plan, borrowers who take out loans after July 1st of 2026 will be allowed to pay based on income.
There's sort of a new standard payment, which will give people some people longer to pay the loans, which means their monthly payments will be lower, but you're going to pay more in interest.
Borrowers whose federal student loan interest payments were halted under the Biden administration will now have to pay that interest beginning August 1st.
That break is ending, and you need to get in contact with your loan servicer as soon as possible.
There are other ways to get financial help besides federal loans. Some of those options include scholarships, grants, and work-study jobs. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
President Donald Trump places a deadline on Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the clock is ticking. Today, Trump met with the Secretary General of NATO, where he promised to send more weapons to Ukraine. Trump also said the U.S. will impose severe tariffs on Moscow if Russia refuses to enter a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine.
I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%.
A White House official later clarified to say that that means the U.S. would impose 100% tariffs on Russia, and there would also be secondary sanctions imposed on other countries that buy oil from Russia. Coming up, lifestyle returns. One local festival encourages people to stop and smell the lilies.
Events like this are really key to making the streams and preserving and protecting our water quality a success.
And Athens County residents enjoy Brew Week, music, and a good cause.
After a rainy start to the week, the rain has started to push out of our area. Find out when it returns next.
Chinese manufacturers.
A monumental Supreme Court decision.
The showdown over the power of the president.
Potentially cleared the way for even greater presidential power.
The Constitution vests all of the executive power of the federal government in a single person, the president.
Do we have the rule of law or do we have royal decrees? That's what's at stake here.
You're not going to scare us, and we're not going to stop.
Our constitutional structure is definitely stressed.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
The Electron Solar Farm.
Pentagon with executive orders.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Nawaz.
I'm Margaret Hoover.
I'm Christiana Manpour in London.
Bring us up to speed there.
Israel is vowing serious consequences.
Did you get a commitment from President Trump?
We have to work on it.
When that story is told, it will be easier for us to see each other like the people who came before us.
Today, we live in a time when meaningful discourse is needed more than ever.
Is this just, at the end of the day, very smart politics?
It's, never compromise on the accuracy.
This is the story of modern war, how it's fought and how it's changing us.
If this is the way we're going to start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
Bishop Educational Gardens held the annual Lily Fest, which brought in people from across Ohio.
The festival gives a relaxing atmosphere with flowers and crafts. Reporter Talia Milowich got to take a stroll through the gardens.
Stop and smell the flowers. Find new crafts. Or listen to live music. All at Lily Fest, the annual Hocking Hills festival that celebrates nature and artwork through extensive gardens. The festival encourages people to slow down and connect with nature in many ways.
They learn how to craft with nature and hopefully get more in touch with nature.
The festival lets people of all ages learn and experience the environment firsthand.
It's very simple and, simple things, flowers and crafts and that type of thing.
Artists and musicians come out to showcase their best work. Relaxing and listening to the music, some are here for their first time, while others have a history with the festival. Jill Palmer first attended with her mom in the early years of the fest. She's now back with her daughter over 20 years later.
I remember going in the past, and it's grown a lot since the first time I came, but it's really neat to see.
The festival started in 1992 by Bobby and Bruce Bishop, along with 4 other artists inviting friends, family, and neighbors to come and see their art. Miller says they have made a lasting impact.
It's just a neat place. Bobby has created a utopia.
Festival goers emphasize the importance of festivals like these and their role in connecting people with the environment.
There needs to be more festivals like this that are low-key, relaxing, and prices are right.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Talia Milowich.
Well, looked like some beautiful weather this weekend, but not so much today. Is it going to get any better for the rest of the week?
Now, the rest of the week kind of looks similar to today. Maybe not quite as much rain because we got about 2.5 inches today, but it's going to be a pretty rainy week. Now, with all that rain that fell, we kind of saw our temperatures begin to dip off a little bit, and that's why right now we're only at 80 degrees, which is a few degrees less than we would normally see. This time of year averages about 85, but all that rain has really helped to clear our air out. Now, taking a look at the heat index map, we can still see all of this humid air that's kind of just trapped over Ohio that's really allowing for these storms to fire up, which is why we saw this line move through at about 2, 3 o'clock, and that's what dumped a majority of our rain. That and the 7 a.m. line that came through, just those two combined is what really gave us a lot of rain today. Now, taking a look back, we can kind of see that this is the last of this so-called line that's set up, but we can't rule out a few showers popping up behind it before the sun goes down tonight, so we'll really be watching those rain totals until that sun heads down and it'll lose its heating source. Again, because we saw 2.5 inches of rain, that's why we have this flash flood warning that's going to be in effect for Athens County until about 8:45, which is right around sundown today. So we're really going to be watching that to hope we don't get any more rain coming with it. Now, with all the humidity, the main driver for this is this stationary front that's just kind of parked over our region, and that low pressure is what's allowing these parcels of air or the air to be heated up, and that's what creates these storm clouds. Now, as we look into tomorrow, it doesn't really move much, but we have this area of high pressure up to our northeast, and that's really what's going to push this front through, and when it goes through, we won't have any storm clouds that'll pop up in our area. So tomorrow looks to be pretty dry, but once we head into Wednesday, the high pressure moves out, and that allows this front to head back over our region, and we're going to have another day of pop-up showers, so we'll be watching those rain totals again for possible flooding scenarios. But as we look to summarize, storm threats are going to be lasting pretty much all week, and they're going to be driven by these muggy conditions along with those surface heating, the clear skies allowing the surface to be heated up. These sunny skies are just going to push this air into the air, and that's what's going to create these storm clouds that are going to be giving us rain all week long. As we look at tonight, though, once that sun goes down and those skies clear out, we're going to have fog in the area. We could see visibilities as low as about a half mile tomorrow morning, so really make sure you take your time when you're heading out the door because it could get a little choppy for your morning commute. And then tomorrow, we'll heat right back up because those skies begin to clear out, and that high pressure looks to suppress most storms, but we still have that possible chance of 20% for those thunderstorms to pop up just because of all that humid air with all that heat. We can't rule out a passing shower. Now, once we take a look at the 7-day, it's really just showers all over the board. 80% on Wednesday, and it's just because that front is going to be stuck over us, and we don't really have another chance to push it out until Thursday, where we drop off a little bit, 5 degrees lower on Friday, and that'll set up for a really, really rainy weekend, so make sure you grab an umbrella when you're heading out the door.
Between 2023 and 2025, Rural Action plans to plant 25,000 trees, but it's going to take a lot of work and fundraising. As a part of Brew Week, people packed into the Eclipse Company store to support their watershed program and catch the John Miller Band. I spoke to people involved with the event. Rocking, rolling, and fundraising. Creek Jam is back for the first time in 6 years.
Events like this are really key to making the streams and preserving and protecting our water quality a success.
Creek Jam helps raise money for Rural Action's watershed program to help maintain the Sunday and Monday Creek ecosystems by planting trees. Jim Miller, who headlines the event, is thrilled to have the performance support Rural Action's work. He has been coming to Brew Week for the past 8 years, but he has been around Athens since 1981. He says there was one thing that drew him to the city in the first place.
There's a lot of hippies here.
Miller and his band have traveled across the state building a network of fans. Miller, also a teacher, takes pride in the community he has created.
It's just a really wonderful, that is wonderful. Plus the people that I teach, I teach everybody, and I go to the houses and I have some 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds and all the way down to 5-year-olds.
Like Miller, Rural Action cherishes its members and the community that makes these events and its work possible.
The bottom line is Rural Action's a membership-based organization. So without our members, without support from the community, without support from everyone around, we can't do this work.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld in the Plains. Rural Action has lots of events left for the rest of the summer. Today they hosted 2 watershed camps, and they will have tours, trails, and boating throughout the rest of the season.
Next.
We want to help youth develop into firefighters.
How one summer program at Hocking College is inspiring the next generation of first responders.
Time is running out. The Senate is voting to eliminate federal funding for your local PBS station, a vital resource to the community, keeping first responders connected in times of need, helping teachers in our kids' schools, and telling stories that matter to your community. But this can all disappear without federal support. Go to protectmypublicmedia.org to call your senators and tell them to save funding for your local PBS station today.
The Ohio Art Corridor is a destination experience. We would like this to be the largest outdoor art gallery in the world.
Portsmouth was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship.
We got land granted to us in Ohio. Great opportunity. Let's go. How would you know you got here? It was just sheer determination and patience and just hard, back-breaking work.
The bridge was acclaimed at the time of being an engineering marvel.
Progress is all about taking the lessons of the past and doing better. So I would hope that now that we know better, we will do better.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Volunteer firefighter numbers are down across Ohio, and some departments are turning to the next generation for help. The Ohio Youth Fire and EMS Training Academy is giving teens a taste of what it's like to be a firefighter. Newswatch reporter Ty Carpenter takes us inside the camp at Hocking College.
In a real fire, every second counts. While this exercise is just a test, for these students, it's as real as it gets.
When you go in the building, they have it completely smoked out. You can't see. They pretty much teach you how to do everything from ladders to searching, forcible entry, all the good stuff that you would need to know to become a firefighter.
At Hocking College in Southeast Ohio, 43 students aged 14 to 18 are learning what it takes to become a firefighter before they even graduate high school. The week-long program gives students proper training before placing them into real-world scenarios with real equipment. They can cut open a car, extinguish a fire, or perform a search and rescue. Many students return each year, and some even go on to become instructors themselves.
We make it as real and as safe as we possibly can, and those that actually go on into the job, a lot of them credit what we do here as to why they continued into the fire service and EMS.
Volunteer firefighting numbers across Ohio have been dropping, placing rural communities at increased risk of limited fire protection. The program has been hosting students from Ohio and New Jersey since 2004 and hopes to increase those figures.
What we want to do is produce more firefighters. We want to help youth develop into firefighters. I've been on for 50 years, and one day my day is going to stop. And if we don't look for the youth to bring it up, then we're not doing our job as firefighters.
While the program is only 1 week in the heat, for many, it's a critical step towards helping their community.
I care very deeply about the future of the fire service, and if this is what I can do to bring back a little piece of my joy of the job to these kids, to maybe get them excited about being a fireman, that's what keeps me coming back year after year.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Ty Carpenter in Nelsonville.
Nicotine pouches are growing in popularity, but a new study finds they're also an increasing cause of nicotine poisoning in children. The study looked at cases of children under 6 who accidentally ingested nicotine through products like vapes, gums, and lozenges. Most types of exposures fell after 2016, but the exposures from nicotine pouches skyrocketed, rising more than 760% between 2020 and 2023. The pouches are increasingly popular with teens and young adults. A study co-author says that's because they have high concentrations of nicotine and taste good.
About 13 million Americans have seasonal affective disorder, a form of depression that usually happens in fall and winter. But some people may experience it in the summer, and the heat can worsen symptoms. High temperatures can affect serotonin, a neurotransmitter that influences your mood.
So heat sort of exacerbates or makes mood worse in those folks who have that sort of genetic vulnerability for mood disorder.
Experts say if you notice changes in sleep and changes in energy where you're feeling more energetic, you might want to talk to your doctor. Still ahead, how one tiny tortoise brought together his community through his unique job.
Welcome to the age of humans. Our honeybees have become indispensable. Yet the honeybee is just one species.
Most bees are definitely not like honeybees.
And today, we're putting them, and maybe ourselves, in danger.
If bees are not thriving, that's a direct reflection of what our health will be.
This is the human footprint of bees.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
You are ready to go.
Did you get that? That is incredible.
We are a part of a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
Whoever takes this on, it's the most monumental thing that they'll take on in their entire career.
Michelangelo now wants to take on Leonardo in making a painting.
For Leonardo, he's pushing the boundaries of what art can represent.
The presence of Raphael absolutely affects Michelangelo.
It is one of the most amazing moments in the history of the Renaissance.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
The police department in Sierra Vista, Arizona has a new special officer, Bowser the Tortoise. Bowser was found wandering the streets last year. No one claimed him, so the department stepped up to adopt him. He even has a badge, number 643. During the summer, Bowser lives outside in the station's courtyard. When it's cold, he's taken inside. At work, the tiny tortoise makes a big impact. The police chief says he encourages officers to take a break and feed Bowser. Bowser also helps to connect the community with the department.
I love tortoises, but you know what I don't like? Rain.
I mean, I have to agree.
Now, I know Bowser probably loves the summer heat in Arizona, and it's definitely a desert out there, but we definitely haven't been experiencing a desert because we have so much rain, especially today. For tonight, I think we're done for the most part. We'll have some areas of fog just because of all that moisture from the rain, and an overnight low of 68. And then as we look at the rest of the week, that rain just sticks around. We're going to have chances of rain for the next 7 days, and we'll be in the upper 80s and low 90s. So make sure if you're heading out the door at all this week, you grab an umbrella on your way out.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Talia Milowich and Ty Carpenter, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld.
And I'm Abigail Semple. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.